The Paramveer Chakra is the highest military honor given to a soldier in India. In India, the idea of remembering and celebrating great acts of courage goes back a long time. In the Mahabharata, Bhishma tells Yudhishthira, "The world rests on the arms of heroes like a son on those of his sire. He, therefore, that is a hero, deserves respect under every circumstance. There is nothing higher in the three worlds than heroism. The hero protects and cherishes all, and all things depend upon the hero." Over 2000 years ago, Chanakya, the famous prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya, wrote the Arthashastra, the treatise that describes all aspects of organizing and running a kingdom. In it, he says that a warrior who dies of disease at home becomes a sinner, but a warrior who dies in battle becomes blessed. The 2000-year-old Tamil Sangam literature of South India lays great emphasis on courage and bravery. The following Purananuru song by the poet Kakkai Padiniyar is one such example. Narambezhindu ulariya niramba mentol mulari marungin mudiyol siruvan padayazhindu marinan endru palar koora. A mother who had sent off her young son to battle awaits his return at day's end. When he does not return, she fears for him and hears people say that her son may have run away from the battlefield. Upon hearing this, she says, "Mandu amarku udaindanan nayin undayan mulayaruttiduven yan ena sinayik konda vaalodu paduvinam peyarach chengalam tuduvuvol." She vows in anger that if this were true, then she will cut off her own breasts with which she had fed her son as a baby. Thus saying, she sets off to the battlefield with a sword in hand. "Sidaindu veru agiya padumagan kidakkai kaanu ஈன்ற ஞான்றினும் பெரிது வந்தனளே." When she reaches the battlefield, she finds her young son dead, his body crushed to the ground, proving that he bravely faced the full might of the enemy force. And seeing his glorious death on the battlefield, she feels immense happiness, even more than on the day he was born. The depiction of the pride of this mother, despite the tragic loss of her young son in battle, depicts the essence of what heroism meant in olden times. Thus, bravery and the willingness to give one's own life for the greater good was given the highest importance in ancient India. And the everlasting symbol of this is the Herostone. When a person shows exemplary courage for the greater good of society and sacrifices his life without even needing the context of war, a Herostone describing him is planted in the ground to remember his act and to symbolize that his fame will live on forever. This is often done to honor the people who become heroes out of spontaneity, often in minor skirmishes like fighting off cattle raiders and robbers, protecting the village, or protecting a woman's chastity, and usually not for deaths in the battlefield during times of war. The practice of planting Herostones has been widespread in the Indian subcontinent, including regions of present-day Pakistan. Known by many names across India, Nadugal, Veeragallu, Veerka, Veerasilalu, Veergal, Kirtistambam, Veerastambam, Palya, Kambi, and so on. Karnataka has recorded the most number of Herostones discovered thus far in India. Bengaluru alone has a record of over 150 Herostones. In fact, one of the Herostones located in the city that is dated to the 9th century CE is archaeologically quite important because it mentions Bengaluru by name, thus establishing the antiquity of the city's name. Bengaluru also will have the unique honor of installing the biggest Herostone, a new massive 75-foot, 450-ton monolithic Herostone recognizing Indian military heroes at the National Military Memorial in Bengaluru. The earliest Herostone discovered in India thus far is from Tamil Nadu, from the village of Puliman Kombai. Dated to as early as the 4th century BCE, about 2400 years ago, it is inscribed in Tamil Brahmi script without any figure carving and is now kept at the Tamil University in Tanjavur. The earliest literary evidence of the use of Herostones comes from the Tamil Sangam literature from over 2000 years ago. where the work called Purananuru mentions that Herostones were established for kings like Adiyaman in the 3rd century BCE. The 2000-year-old Tamil work on ethics, Tirukkural, also mentions a reference to this practice of Herostones in the section elucidating the military spirit of great warriors. Ennai mun nillanmin thevver palar ennai munninru kallindravar. It is a warrior telling other warriors, "Do not face my leader in battle. There are many who have faced him and lost in previous encounters and have become stones instead," indicating the practice of the use of hero stones for warriors who die in battle. Tolkappiyam, the ancient grammar text for Tamil, not only deals with grammar but also records the traditions of ancient Tamil people. It mentions 6 elaborate steps used to install a hero stone. These steps are Kachi or Kalkandal, which refers to the process of identifying the appropriate stone for the hero from the mountain. Kalkol, which is the process of bringing the stone to the place of installation with the appropriate respect and fanfare. Neerpadai, which refers to soaking the stone in water. This process is used to prepare temple idols even today. Nadudal, which refers to the step of installing the stone at the appropriate place. Perumpadai, which indicates the making of food offerings to the hero stone. And Vartal, which is the step of composing and singing the story of the hero so that his act of heroism will live on in popular memory. This is similar to how biographies of famous people are published on their death anniversaries today. The elaborate nature of this process tells us that this was a very important tradition in ancient times. Based on the hero stones found, we can classify them into more than 10 types. The most common hero stone is for a battle during a cattle raid, referred to as Aniraipor in Tamil. In ancient times, cattle was seen as a proxy for a society's wealth, and the taking of cattle was a means to start a war, and thus stopping such a raid is crucial and demands courage. Even in the Mahabharata, the Kauravas use a cattle raid to induce a war to expose the Pandavas hiding in exile in the Matsya kingdom. Other types of hero stones are for sacrificing one's life while protecting the village from raiders or robbers, while protecting the chastity of women, while protecting a temple from thieves, while defending a fort, while protecting society from wild animals like tigers, wild boars, elephants, charging bulls, etc. Besides telling us how important bravery was considered in ancient times, the inscriptions and carvings on the hero stones are a great source in reconstructing ancient history. They tell us the evolution of writing scripts over centuries, the evolution of grammar rules, the details on the chieftains who ruled the various regions, details about the heroes who died, common words in use in ancient times, and how these evolved over time. Rare words of ancient times that are not found in any literature today, the nature of family relationships in ancient society, the nature of scuffles and skirmishes during ancient times, the nature of community interactions in society, the age-old conflict of humans versus wildlife as forests were converted into farmland. Thus, hero stones are an invaluable source to help reconstruct ancient history and deserve the utmost protection. But unfortunately, due to lack of awareness, most hero stones in India lie in a state of neglect, and many are getting destroyed with the spread of urbanization. In modern times, our praise and admiration is reserved for those who excel in wealth and power. But in ancient times, the highest praise was reserved for selfless acts of bravery and courage, where brave men and women made the ultimate sacrifice of offering their life and the future of their family by fighting for the greater good of society. And hero stones are a reminder to the value system of these ancient times. Even today, there are hero stones one can find along highways and near temples, where locals clothe them, apply vermilion, place flowers, and offer prayers, as if to a temple deity, without even knowing the history of that stone. Many of us often brush off such acts as remnants of a blind belief system of yore. However, it is all part of the deep consciousness of this ancient land, where we trust the wisdom of the past and know deep inside that these stones were erected by our ancestors to honor the greater good of society, and continuing to offer respect to these stones is a means of recognizing all that was great in history past.